Good evening everyone. I am SRIKAR from 2nd CACC, and as part of celebrity interview for our Employability Skills-1, now we are going to interview Ms. Kasturi Mahathi. All of us might know Mahathi ma'am as an assistant professor of English in our college, but what some of us might not know is that she is an excellent Carnatic singer who has been learning Carnatic music since her childhood, and she has also performed in TTD's many prestigious programs, and she had also won many awards. So without further ado, let's get started. Good evening, ma'am. In fact, I'm very honored to have you as my guest in this interview. So, ma'am, you have been learning Carnatic music since your childhood, and if we see the trend nowadays, most of the parents are not allowing their children to take part in extracurricular activities. Even though some of the parents allow their children, they usually prefer some sort of dancing or some martial arts or some sports and athletic activities. Only a little percentage of the children actually get to know the taste of Carnatic music. This has been the fashion nowadays. So what is your view on that opinion, and how can we encourage the children to take up Carnatic music from their childhood?
Okay. Thank you, Srikar. Firstly, I would like to thank you for having me here, and I would like to thank for the opportunity you have given me to share my opinions and experiences since my childhood. Coming to your question is how can we get motivated towards Carnatic music?
Yes, ma'am. How can young children can get motivated to learn Carnatic?
Yes. So coming to my childhood and my parents, how they encouraged me. My father or even my mother, both of them believed that academics alone will not work in life. You should have something that brings you out of any kind of depression, any kind of pressure, something that always puts you in joy, something that you can enjoy all the time when you perform or when you learn it. And in the same way, they have introduced me to all the possible fields. I was introduced to dance, I was introduced to sports and indoor games. Later, I myself realized that, my voice would be suitable for singing, and then put myself into Carnatic music. And how you pick it up is, it again depends on your interest, it depends on the feasibility that you have around, it depends on the capability. Talent or interest alone cannot work. All of them should go in hand when you want to become successful.
Yes.
So if you have all that, then definitely the success is yours.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, now coming to your career in this college as an assistant professor in English, you have mentioned that you have started learning Carnatic music since childhood. Actually, Carnatic music is an ancient art, and it represents the Indian traditional culture. And coming to English, it is a modern language. English is known to modernize societies. So you have taken Carnatic music in your childhood, and you have become a successful singer, and then you have taken up English, and you have made a successful career out of it, and you are a successful teacher now. So ma'am, how are you able to pick up two contrasting fields and made successful careers out of them?
I really liked your question. I never thought in this way till now. So that is the fun, I believe. When you have two different things to work on, that is where you actually discover yourself, how capable you are. And when there are two contrasting things, you get more exposure, you get to learn so many good things. When you have commonality, at some or another point you get mixture of everything. But since you have two different fields, completely different fields, you get to learn so many things, you get to find so many people. When you look at literature, you have different kinds of people, but when you talk about South Indian music, the mentality is the outlook, everything is different. So I really enjoy two different corners of and to talk about both are arts. So there is some creativity that is common in both, which always puts you on the top.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, relating to the previous question, the advent of English, and with English they have come many other things into our culture, which we adopted and made them as our own. One of the things is, I believe, foreign music and pop culture, rock culture, and especially when we see nowadays, most of the youth are attracted to Kpop. Even though they are attracted to Kpop, and then most of them are not showing interest in classical Indian music. So, ma'am, what do you think is the reason behind that? Reason behind when someone enjoys music, I think that they should enjoy both of the fields and both of the genres equally. So, is there any chance that we can mold them into liking Carnatic music?
Okay, that's again a good question. So the only reason for not able to understand an art, or to not able to enjoy an art, is lack of understanding. So you don't know the real beauty of it. You might have not explored it till now. Only then you are not able to understand the beauty. Once you start exploring, you will definitely start falling in love with it. So you have to start exploring first. Basic is always important. If you want to speak speeches, if you want to give speeches, ABCD is basic. So in the same way, whichever music you take up, whether it is pop or Kpop, the basic music cannot be forgotten. So if you understand the beauty of the basics, the roots, you will enjoy the pop music even better.
When I saw your previous interviews, you said that you are very passionate about teaching. You said that whether it is a teaching Carnatic music or teaching English, you are very passionate about teaching. So I would like to ask you, what is one aspect of teaching, and what is one aspect of teaching, especially youngsters like us, that made you choose this career and stick to it?
Yes. So whatever field that you take up, especially an art form, so you have two possibilities, one as a performer and one as a teacher. So performers, there are already so many performers, and my sole reason is I want to give all that I have to the students, to the people, to the aspirants who want to learn something new all days. And I have so much of patience with students. So when because I teach, most of my students are too young. They are 5 years, 6 years. They do all naughty things on camera. They know how they behave. They don't put the talam properly. If I say sa, they say re. So it's always fun to have such kind of children, and in that process. And I also realized that teaching is the actual field where you start learning. As a learner, you might be a little negligent, but when you start teaching, you know that you shouldn't commit any mistakes. You should always be a hero before your student. So you have to double practice. So teaching is something where I started actually learning more than as a student. So I always love teaching.
For the conclusion of this interview, I would like to ask you one more question. You're a successful singer as well as a very successful teacher. Only few people get success in more than one career option that they choose. So, ma'am, what is one advice that you would like to give the students who want to be successful in the career that they pick?
Okay, first of all, I don't consider myself successful, because if I feel I'm successful, then I should stop learning everything. So I have started my journey, and I'm continuing, and I'll continue to learn. I continue to teach what I learn. So when you have interest, when you have patience, when you have hard work, when you have time to spend on that work, when you can plan your life according to your capabilities and according to your strengths and weaknesses, always the ball is in your court. So these youngsters these days have to spend time for themselves, thinking what is their passion. Is it really engineering? Is it really singing? If both are important for them, how do they balance it? So, and apart from all this, I also sincerely believe that support is equally important. I had that amount of support given by my parents. Only then I was able to do all this. So if there is no support, if my parents would have said that studies are only important, you can't take up music, I wouldn't have taken it up. So support is equally important, and I had my own personal interest towards it. So when all these come, together, obviously success will be possible.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for joining us today, ma'am. You have given very valuable insights, and your advice to the students is great. Thank you once again.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.